File. In this Sunday, November 19, 2017 File photo, Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez speaks during his closing campaign rally in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. Honduras Electoral Court has declared Hernandez the winner of the disputed election. Court President David Matamoros made the announcement Sunday evening after 3 weeks of uncertainty and violent protests in which at least 17 people died. Rodrigo Abd, FileAssociated Press TEGUCIGALPA, Honduras. President Juan Orlando Hernandez has been declared the winner of Honduras' disputed election, but that did little to quell unrest from weeks of uncertainty. As new protests erupted Monday and the Organization of American States proposed a redo of the vote, the OAS, which had sent election observers to the country, issued a statement saying it was impossible to determine the outcome with enough certainty due to irregularities including deliberate human intrusions into the computer system, intentional elimination of digital traces, opened ballot boxes, and extreme statistical improbability regarding levels of participation within the same department, combined with a narrow vote differential. The only possible path for the winner to be the Honduran people. The new call for general elections. Respecting democratic values and citizens is the necessary road to safeguard society from death and violence, the OAS said. The Honduran people deserve an electoral exercise that offers democratic quality and guarantees. The electoral cycle that the Supreme Electoral Tribunal gave as concluded today has clearly not been met, it added. Supporters. Challenger Salvador Nasralla blocked streets and highways around the country Monday with burning tires and rocks. As soon as police and soldiers would clear the obstacles, protesters would put them back. Universities, banks and some other businesses remained closed due to the disturbances in Tegucigalpa. Those who still had to work made their commutes on foot. Most businesses were closed in the country's second city, San Pedro Sula. National Police spokesman Jairo Meza said some businesses there had been looted. "It's better to be locked up in our houses," said Maria Velasquez, a teacher living in Valderangeles, a town outside the capital. At least 17 people have died in violent street clashes since the November 26 vote. Electoral Tribunal President David Matamoros announced Sunday evening that Hernandez had won the election, saying, "We have fulfilled our obligation and we wish for there to be peace in our country." According to the court's official count, Hernandez won with 42.95% to 41.42% for Nasralla, who well before the announcement had challenged the result and said he would not recognize it. There was no immediate public comment by Hernandez, whose sister Hilda Hernandez, a cabinet minister, died Saturday in a helicopter crash. Nasralla traveled to Washington to present what he called numerous examples of evidence of alleged fraud, and he met Monday with OAS Secretary General Luis Almagro. He said he also planned to meet with officials from the U.S. State Department and human rights groups. Interviewed by UNETV during a layover at the Miami airport, Nasralla called Hernandez's re-election illegitimate and said he would ask the OAS to invoke its democratic charter against Honduras. "The declaration by the court is a mockery because it tramples the will of the people," Nasralla said. He added that he was very optimistic because the people do not endorse fraud. Former President Manuel Zelaya, a Nasralla ally, called for civil disobedience. "May God take us having made our confessions because today the people will defend in the streets the victory that it obtained at the ballot box," Zelaya said. In a statement, he urged police and the armed forces to place themselves under the direction of President-elect Salvador Nasralla and cease operations against the election protests. The first results reported by the Electoral Court before dawn the day after the November 26 election showed Nasralla with a significant lead over Hernandez with nearly 60% of the vote counted. But public updates of the count mysteriously stopped for more than a day, and when they resumed, Nasralla's lead steadily eroded and ultimately reversed in Hernandez's favor. The Electoral Court recently conducted a recount of ballot boxes that presented irregularities and those whose results were not transmitted the night of the election. It said there was virtually no change to its count. Since then, it had been considering challenges filed by candidates. Hernandez, a 49-year-old businessman and former lawmaker, took office in January 2014 and built support largely on a drop in violence in this impoverished Central American country. But corruption and drug trafficking Allegations cast a shadow over his government, and his re-election bid fueled charges that his national party was seeking to entrench itself in power by getting a court ruling allowing him to seek a second term. Re-election has long been outlawed in Honduras, and Zelaya was ousted as president in a 2009 coup ostensibly because he wanted to run again himself. He later founded the party that supported Nasrallah as its candidate. "The people say, Joe, you are not our president," Zelaya tweeted, referring to Hernandez's initials. "We must mobilize immediately to all public places. They are violating the will of the people." Associated Press writer Peter Orsi in Mexico City contributed to this report. Copyright 2017 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten or redistributed.